I'm Doug McLennan. I live in the John Sullivan House in Durham. The house was built in 1717 and sold to a chap named the Reverend Hugh Adams. And for the first 40 or so years of its existence, it was known as the Adams Mansion. The house is about 4,150 square feet, not counting the barn and so on. It's rated as 6 bedrooms, but we're currently using it as a 4-bedroom house. It sits on 1.81 acres. Depending on the tide, it has 450 feet of frontage on the Oyster River at the headwater and connects to the Piscataqua and Portsmouth and the ocean. We have the rights to build a dock, the permit's in place, and we have a mooring in front of the house. We've kept 22-foot boats out there. By road and by water, it's about 9 miles to Portsmouth. Durham's very attractive to families with children because the Oyster River school system is very highly regarded. Durham is always being mentioned 1 or 2 in livability, desirability, and so on in southern New Hampshire. It has all the recreational opportunities that you might want. And the university really does do a lot. There's plays, there's things at the Whittemore Center, and it's all within walking distance. My wife's family bought this house in 1964 and restored it, and then in 2005 we bought out the other heirs. It needed restoration again. Fortunately, I had a lot of background in doing this, so I knew what needed to be done and could do it. It's a classic 2-room deep house of that period. We retained all of the original features that we could find or that were in existence. The front and what was the rear door have handmade brass box locks. Where necessary, there were some things that we had to repair or restore or even replace, but we did our best to match what had been there. As we went through the house, we completely rewired, replumbed it. Any walls that were open, which is most of them, were insulated, put in 4 bathrooms, modern kitchen, laundry facilities, that sort of thing. It has new roof, new paint, windows have all been sealed. The old glass has been taken out, reset. We have gas on top of an electric range, which is also convection. 2 sinks. We have a very large hot water supply tank. The house has 5 fireplaces, 3 on the first floor and 2 on the second floor. One has very old Delft tile on it, probably original. The heating system is a Boderis, the best we could find. It's got 3 air handlers, 1 in the attic, 1 in the basement, and 1 that's actually in the barn that feeds into the kitchen area. The air handlers make it possible to have central AC. Because we did a lot of insulating wherever we opened up outside walls, it's pretty easy to heat. Sullivan was an interesting guy in that he led the first military action of the Revolutionary War, the taking of Castle William and Mary, the powder, cannons and so on, in December of 1774. He became Attorney General ultimately in New Hampshire, served in that capacity, was Speaker of the House for a while, and then elected governor. Then John Langdon was elected, then Sullivan was elected twice more. George Washington appointed him the first federal judge of New Hampshire about that time, and it's a post he held until his death. In the 1930s, the federal government decided that they should do something about recording the historic buildings before they all disappeared. And in New Hampshire, the first house that was done in what was called the Historic American Building Survey was this house. The house was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1972. There's a plaque on the house. I think the plaque was put on in '74, bronze. Saying that. And we have the certificate upstairs of the designation. There's a lot of houses now and a lot of buildings on the National Historic Register, but very few are also landmarks. So it's quite an honor. And whenever they talk about Durham, it usually starts with the Sullivan House.